Hello and welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Shane Olson, and today we're going to be sculpting this really fun chameleon by Alexander Keda. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't been here before, I stream every single Monday at this time. All right, so let's get to it. Hope you're doing well. I usually start out with a sphere like this. And I'm trying to decide if I want to sculpt this guy in pose or do T-pose-ish and then pose him up. Hey, what's up, Neil? Thanks for joining me. You probably saw this today and said, Shane's probably going to sculpt that. And you'd be right. Okay, so I'm going to start with the body first, I think. And this is a non-colored version. So I think actually what I'm going to do is just sculpt it with these values instead of color, because I don't know if he's going to color this or not. He did color the crocodile / alligator thing that he posted with it. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not too predictable, am I? All right, so I'm just going to kind of look at this body and pull out the neck, and then I'm going to add a tail in a bit and just kind of work it in with it. You know, I think I'm really close to coming up with a good substance painter / character creator / ZBrush pipeline. I'm really close, I think. Okay, so with this tail, hey, what's up, Mark? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we'll just fill it with this color for now. This kind of beigeish tone. Okay, so with this tail, what I'm going to do is, it's funny, I never start with the tail. Since the tail is so critical to this guy, start with an appendage brush and make it really kind of long so I can curl it all the way down and around and end it like that. And I think what I'm going to do is point it, since it's already kind of pointing down, I'm going to point it down like this. And then kind of gauge what this looks like unraveled. So I'm going to Z-remesh just this tail. And I need to write myself a note, and stick it on my monitor, which one is which. Whether it's Z-remesher that works with masking or I think it works with hidden. So let's hide it. And then click on same and Z-remesh it. We'll see. Yep, that's it. Okay, I remembered. Hey, Joanna, how are you? Welcome. And that just kind of redistributes the polys. This came in now. You said sculpt him posed or in the T-pose and pose him later. No, I wasn't. I was just kind of thinking out loud. But welcome. How's it going? Just gonna kind of smooth this out and then put a little knob at the end there instead of making it super pointy. Hey Amy, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here for a while. I've seen you over on the Discord, but not here. Hope you're doing good. Okay, let's see what we can do as far as curling this up. Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry. That's no fun. No fun at all. Okay, I think I'm actually going to split this off into its own subtool just so I can curl it in its own. Otherwise, I think it'll grab this other object as well. I wish these modifiers would respect masking, but they don't. So I'm going to do a bend curve. Hey, Amir, welcome. Down for 2 weeks. Oh, goodness. That's no good. Yikes. Okay. What I like to do with this is start kind of low. So we have 5 dots here. And then just kind of start to curl it up. Looks like a seahorse or something. You have a cough that won't go away. Oh, goodness sakes. That is not fun at all. Oh, that's this. I need to pull on this one to add more dots. Not that many. Okay. So let's see. Let's get a flow going here. I wish I could put more dots at this end and fewer on this end, but it kind of evenly distributes them. Well, I hope you get better soon. That's no fun. Okay. So I know it's kind of kinked like this. Kind of kinked. Let's bring these dots around. Still, that's a long, that seems like a long time. Like too long. Hey, welcome, welcome. Okay, now that we have this. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. Here in the US, it's actually considered a holiday. It's President's Day here. So most people are off from work or out of school. Or if you work at a bank, you're off work. I have twist. This is twist, right? 3 weeks. Yeah, I've never had, well, I'm kind of have a few health issues, so I got that that Paxlovid stuff, and it only made mine last a couple days, which was pretty crazy, and it actually helped my health issues, which is crazy too. It's like one of the only cases I've heard where it was actually beneficial to get it. I feel super, super bad for Ashley. She's another streamer here. She might join us later. Hello from Argentina. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this now. Shrinking this up, shrinking this up. There's a kind of a hidden cone. It's hard to see. This cone, it's kind of doubled. If I move the camera, can't really see it. Anyway, there's 2 cones here. There's a shorter one closer to the dot, and that's the one I'm trying to grab to kind of scale it down. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm pretty happy with that now. And then if let's see, I kind of want to I wish I could select all of these dots and bring them all down, but I can't really do that. So I'm going to do that in sculpting. I'm just going to hit accept. And then do that portion just with masking and bring it on down. Hello from Belgium. Welcome. What time is it in Belgium, Libra? Let's see here, bring it on down like this. I've done a chameleon in the past, but I love this one so much. Hello from the... Hi, Dave. Welcome. Netherlands. Ah, nice. actually is scheduled to stream on Wednesday. Interesting. I hope she actually ends up streaming. I haven't seen her stream for a while. Okay, so now that I have these, I'm gonna go ahead and combine them together. Well, let's get the head on there. It's looking like a seahorse or something else. Okay. Oh goodness. I have some stories of my sculpts looking like something else. I was at CTN, which is short for Creative Talent Network. It's just where artists go and talk to each other and, you know, go to panels and things like that. It's kind of like a light box or something, or like a Trojan horse was a unicorn. I've never been to that expo. I wish I'd like to sometime. Anyway, I was doing a demo in their hallway where people were just kind of walking by, and had a bunch of my friends watching me. Like my buddy Chris Wright was watching me. And it was on a Mac, and I was not used to the Mac controls. Hey Steven, how are you? Welcome back. Yeah, that's true. You can almost like, yeah, the body is very similar in shape to this head. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I spent some time doing home improvement stuff. My shower leaked onto the wall right next to it, and it kind of made some moldy damage, which was fun. 8 p.m. Oh wow. It is noon here. I'm in mountain time. Let's see. Anyway, back to my story, the CTN story. I was making this giraffe, and he had this head, and this really long snout, and then this snout on the end, and it looked like something else. And made me all embarrassed, and I was trying to get past it, and I couldn't because I didn't understand the Macintosh hotkeys, and yeah, it was super embarrassing moment for me. Oh goodness. Okay, this is kind of weird. I don't know. Oh, did I turn off? That's weird. Raphael just got here and missed the tail making. Hey Raphael, I just used the bend modifier. So if you go to this gear, it's just bend curve right here. I just use that. And this is going to be, hey Ashley, we were just talking about you. How are you doing? Yep, time for mirror and weld. Let me make sure the local symmetry is not turned on, and mirror and weld, boom. How are you, lady? Amy, one of my students, Amy, she was in here. She's probably still in here. She was just talking about catching ye old COVID, and that's what led to conversations about you and your eye fun. How's that going, by the way? Do I dare ask? I always don't dare ask. No rumors, just, you know, what the heck is that? Oh, it's I don't know. I think I'm on some kind of a knife brush or something. Yes. Yeah, Amy's just had it for like a long, it seems like longer amount of time than typical. Okay, so I'm going to subdivide this once and delete lower like this, and then I'm going to connect these two and just keep going. I think I might connect all three, just get the tail connected. Let's merge this on down. Okay. And then, let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't want to sew this tail shut, if that makes sense. I have a question. Can I prepare the character to be available for animation? Yes, you can. It takes retopology. I will typically do the retopology not in ZBrush. I'll do it somewhere else. I can send him a 4D or something like that. But I will, yeah, like I said, I will typically not do the retopology here. I use the retopology tools in ZBrush to do smaller pieces, like props or pieces of armor, things like that, but not a full character. Okay, so see how this tail's wrapped up? I want to move it away from itself. I have not used the new one of the new Top Gun K9. I used to use the old one, the first one. I didn't use it for retopology, even though that was its main purpose. I used it for map baking because the ambient occlusion maps that came out of there were just so buttery smooth, and the normal maps were fantastic. So I would use it for baking maps, but and I'll tell the reason why I didn't get into it, the first iteration, is because the wrapping a edge loop around the object, it was screen space. So unlike other programs, it wraps the ring around like an appendage, like an arm, like an elbow or a wrist or something like that. You can just drag it and it will just kind of stick and go around it. But in the first iteration of that program, it would, if you move the camera, it would mess it up. What do you inflate that bad boy, crunch it together? Damn standard to carve it out. No. I'm not gonna do it. You can't make me. Okay, let's see. 1.5. I'm just gonna turn on this topological and get it away from itself. Get away from yourself. You're harming yourself. Okay. I know. Nope, I'm not gonna do it. Can't. It's against the instructions. Okay, so this is all I got. I made a gap so it's not going to stick to itself. And then Z remesh. I wonder what happens if I keep same and just hit it. Boom. I'm going to do keep. Do I want to keep groups? Do I care? I don't care. Hi Mathilda, how are you? Did you get my email? Is that the same? Did you email me? Okay, sorry it took me so long to respond. Don't make the tail social distance from itself. Yeah, make it hug. I just wanted to Z remesh it and then stick it together. Like, let's go. Shoop. Get that in the center. We're gonna go remesh by union. This is what I use instead of Dynamesh. It's my new thing. It's not really new. I've been doing it for years now. Thanks so much. I don't know why I didn't see. Yeah, I stream every Monday for quite well. It's kind of a bit confusing, not gonna lie, because of the Maxon purchase. So I believe I'm still streaming to the Pixelogic YouTube channel. I don't know if they'll ever change the name away from that, because Maxon has their own YouTube channel and Pixelogic had their own. So I don't know what a good solution to that would be, Okay, so let's see. you guys. Okay, symmetry. Got it. Thanks, Neil. Inflate Z intensity. Hey, Amir. Don't make that. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that I got all the comments. Ashley, you're all throwing me off. Do it better. Okay. Channel says Max on ZBrush. I know, but did they change it? Okay, maybe they changed it. She is giving solid advice, but what's funny is she's pushing me into her workflow, and I do my stuff differently. And it's just funny. Mask it out, then go to deformation, then inflate to 100. Oh, funny. Using my Mac for sculpting, and I have this huge problem with Control W command. Instead of putting the things I want in a new poly group, it closes my ZBrush window. Yeesh. I don't know why, but exactly. So, the Mac hotkeys are a little different. I don't know if Control W or Alt, try a different sequence, like an Alt W or a Command W. Maybe not a Control. I don't know. Might want to try that and see what it does for you. I'm gonna Z-remesh this and not keep groups. I'm going crazy here. Okay. Yeah, it might be command. Try that. Oops. I'm just gonna wiggle that around for a minute. Yeah, it's Control W on Windows. I don't know what CNTR is. Okay. So now that I have this, I think I'll keep the legs separate, so I can inflate it back now. Let's see, I can go curl it back up. Inflation. There. Is that okay? Just Command W. Okay. Inflate the thing together. It's driving me crazy. Do it. Okay. And now I'm just going to pull the mouth in. Just like this. And it'll start to stretch my polys out. I hate it when I get my poly stretched. All right. Now, this is again. Are you still not using Sculptris Pro? Is that your thing? Still not using that? Because here's another time when Ashley and my workflows don't work. All right. Like oil and water, Ashley. So you guys, A Cubed, if you guys don't know, she also streams on this channel on Wednesdays. Okay, so I'm going to use Sculptris Pro. Turn that sucker on because my polys are stretching. I have a couple options. I could be like Ashley and I could Dynamesh, but that would stick my tail together. Yeah, she she loves the crunchy geo. I don't use it for body blockouts. Oh, okay. Yeah, nope. I haven't used Dynamesh in years. So I want to increase the density of my geometry right here. I have three options. I could Sculptris Pro it, I could Dynamesh it, or I could Z-remesh it. Stick it, pull it, twist it. So instead of Z-remeshing is gonna, yeah, it does rebuild the entire thing. What I like about Sculptris Pro is that it's kind of focused dynamic geometry or topology, whatever you want to call it. So essentially I can just do this. Just make sure you turn off dynamic subdivisions because it does not play well with Sculptris Pro. And essentially I'm just giving myself some geometry that I can then continue to stretch and move and sculpt. I use Sculptris Pro and Dynamesh together. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't I haven't looked back. I'm like that meme where I'm turning over my shoulder looking at Sculptris Pro and I'm holding the hand of Dynamesh. That's me. Actually. Oh my gosh. If you make auto group by normal, separate polygroup, come back. No, auto group by normal will it will make new polygroups based off of the angle of the mesh, and since this character is really smooth, it's not going to really do much. But if you have like hard surface edges, it will look at anything beyond like 45 degrees and give it a poly group. It won't bring back your old poly groups. See, now I have polygons for days. Massive amounts of no, not really. It's not bad. Edna mode. She's one of my favorite characters. No capes. Just gonna inflate this right here a little bit more. If you ever have, if your polygons are too dense, just turn it down. Turn down. This is my user interface, my custom user interface, and I've put the subdivide size for Sculptris Pro right here, and then I have Tessimate right below it, because those two sliders kind of correlate with each other. Polygon size, this Tessimate will flood fill your entire character with triangles like Dynamesh, or not Dynamesh, Sculptris Pro topology, but it will not stitch it together. It won't melt your mesh and stitch things. So that's kind of the difference between that and Dynamesh. Okay, I need to save this before I forget. All right, let's see. Okay, I have so many points on Twitch, I realize like super annoying and highlight. It's totally fine. You know, again, I have these headphones on and I'm not listening to anything. Let's find something to listen to, shall we? There we go. So if you ever get your points too dense with Sculptris Pro, the beauty of it is you can just decimate it. Just use decimation, because this is already made out of triangles anyway. So adding, or you know, rebuilding it with triangles isn't going to hurt anything. Actually works quite well. So if your computer starts to slow down, just decimate it. Let's get some eyes in there. Eyeballs, these are, make them as big as I possibly can. And split them off. And I'm lagging for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm going to add dynamic subdivisions to these puppies. And then, now that I have the eyes in there, I can start sculpting away on the bits, on the rest of it. Give him some volume back here. Give him some space for his eyeballs to live. Eyeball house. And then we can close his mouth at this point, I believe. And just kind of blur it as much as we can. Invert that mask and bring his mouth kind of closed like this. It's kind of coming together already. I really like this guy's stuff. I've sculpted a lot of his designs. He just dropped this one this morning. Like, my literal response was, well, I know what I'm going to be sculpting today. You know what I'm going to do though? Before I do that, I'm going to go back in time to where I have a mask and hit Control W to give myself a poly group. That way I can isolate, come on, part of it, so I can just work on the inside of the mouth if I want to. Okay. My smooth is very low power. Crank up that power. Call them orbital casings. And the engineering's like, nice. You have some really nice orbital casings. Okay, so for example, this top lip, I kind of want to crease it around just to give it an edge so it's not a rounded mouth like this. So I can isolate that, bring my brush size down, just kind of run, pinch along this edge just to give it a nice change of direction there. Work, I was hoping to start streaming soon. Would it be against anything if I followed along and tried to replicate your work but not have you on stream? I mean, if you want, sure. Do what you want. I'm just happy when people are sculpting. Just make sure you call out, you know, the original designer. And I am noticing now that I'm looking at this curvature here. It's way too long. So need to move his eyes forward a lot, like right here. I think maybe sink it down and make it a little bit bigger. I don't want it to peek through his the top of his mouth, the roof of his mouth, but it looks like it would. Like if I were to draw here, let's take a look. Let's just assess this eyeball for a second. So if I were to make this rounded edge be a sphere, it's like this, right? And I might do that because I want that curvature. I want this curvature right here. So I might make the sphere that large. See how it goes. And then I'll just kind of clip off the bottom of the eye. Sometimes you got to cheat, you know? Yeah, I think that's going to work. Hey, Stefan, welcome. Bought a tablet graphics in Teak 16. Yes. Yeah, it's good. It's great. Anything that's not a mouse is great. Just get whatever you can afford, whatever you can use, and it's awesome. Two hours? Oh, how long do you normally stream for? Yeah, 2 hours. I'd really like to buy your course. May I ask what you cover in the 3D workshop that you don't really cover during streams? Yes, I cover the entire production pipeline from start to finish. So here I'm just kind of doing really quick, like either bus or blockouts or things like that. I don't ever take it to final, like the textures and everything. I'll do some polypaint, but in the course it's like I take you through 2 full game characters, and then soon I gotta get it done, but soon hopefully I'm doing a character for 3D print, and that will be included as part of it as well. If you're wondering what she's talking about, I teach a 3D Character Workshop. That's what this logo above my head is. 3D Character Workshop. I have a full workshop that takes you from start to finish on game character workflow and toys. Toy workflow. And it can also be used for film and television. But mostly it's just game. And some of my students are in here, a lot of them. Like Steven, Neil. Yeah. They've all been students for a long time. There's like 2,000 students in there, over 2,000. I've been running it for 6 years now. Crazy when you think about it. Thanks, K9. Yeah, and I made the original course 6 years ago, but I've since updated some of the workflows. What slicing software? Yeah, I love Lychee Slicer. Yeah, love it. So just so you guys know, Lychee Slicer, is actually started by an employee of Pixelogic, Thomas. He left and started Lychee. It's really good. He actually printed this Mickey Mouse right here back. Can you see this Mickey Mouse back behind me right there? Yeah, he printed that at the ZBrush Summit this year for me. Is there an increase in uncrease? Yeah, so you just go to, if you go to ZModeler, let's see if I can, I gotta find an edge here. Okay, so if you hit spacebar and you're on crease, edge, you can go edge, edge loop partial, which is, it just goes until it hits a pole, or an edge loop complete, which will go all the way around. So if you have an edge and you accidentally crease something, like, oh goodness. I guess I can't do it because this is like partially hidden Sculptris Pro, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there it goes. If you hover over it, you'll see that it says hold down Alt to uncrease it. So you just hold down Alt and click on it. It should, why does it not uncrease? Well, that's supposed to work. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, you just hold down Alt to uncrease it with creasing turned on. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Okay, let's, do I print what with any cubic? The mouse? This? No, I don't. No. I can't remember the name of the printer they printed it on. It was a gigantic one. It was like the size of a small refrigerator. Yeah. So most of these were printed on a Form 2 from Formlabs, but this specific one was printed on a very large. No, actually, I'm trying to think. I think it might have been printed on an Elegoo. I want to say what was it? It has an orange cover or a yellow cover on it. Yeah, it wasn't they had the frozen one there, but they didn't print it on that one. They printed it on an Elegoo. Now that I'm remembering, it's been a while. Okay. I think it was an Elegoo Mars. Yeah. Elegoo Mars is a fantastic printer. I have a Saturn II, and I've yet to open it, but oh goodness, look at these holes. Okay, let's do fill holes, close holes. That's strange. All right, I'm gonna go. So if you ever do run into this, and you make, and it looks like it made a bunch of holes right along the border of the poly groups when I had it hidden. Hey, what's up, Leonard? Are you gonna buy my Saturn or what? We were just talking about that and Leonard shows up. Leonard always teases me about it. Okay, so if you hold down Control plus Shift and you tap on a shared shared vertice between two poly groups. It will isolate both of those like this. Let's turn on double-sided just so we can see. Oh, it looks like there were some holes on the interior of the mouth too, but now I can just hit Control W and it puts both of those in the same poly group. Like this. What is 3D Character Workshop Inflate? It's just regular ZBrush Inflate, but with some changed parameters on it to make it behave like I want it to behave. So all of these brushes I give away for free over on my website. Just go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com right here, 3D Character Workshop, and you will see download brushes and you can get them. And it also comes with my user interface and my custom menu right here. You can go grab that if you want. Did you bribe someone at Pixelogic to get constant featured sports? I don't know what that means. Are you saying spots? Featured spots? What do you, I guess I didn't see it. What featured spots? Like on Twitch or what? I'm not familiar. That's cool. Okay, so let's see. Let's work out some more of these shapes. Okay, let's go. I'm streaming to 2 Maxon YouTube channels. Oh, interesting. So yeah, Restream says I'm streaming to 5 different channels. The official Pixelogic Twitch. I know that they rotate between artists, but oh, interesting. Yeah, I stream every Monday. I don't know. I haven't changed anything, so that's interesting. I'll take it. Okay. Trying to understand how this line, what's happening here on the back of his jaw. I'm gonna try to inflate it just to kind of build it up, make that natural separation there. But you hate it when you forget to cancel subscription plans. Like what? Anas, you're welcome. Sometimes I'll take a break. Like today is actually a holiday here in the US. I was considering it, but and I'm like, oh, this chameleon looks too much fun, so. Multiple streaming channels, yeah. So yeah, I'll pull this down. So I'm streaming these 5 places. So this is Pixelogic's channel, and then Max on Twitter and Facebook, and 2 YouTube channels. So that's interesting. I keep changing it up. Oh goodness, I shut down chat. Hold on a second. Let's bring it back. If you said something the last minute, I will miss it. Okay, it killed my chat accidentally. Okay, and it tells me I have like 108 concurrent viewers. That's cool. So welcome everybody. Good old Twitter. Yeah. That was so weird. I don't know why you'd stream. I don't think I've ever watched a stream on Twitter. Has anybody ever watched a stream? Is anybody watching over on Twitter right now? I thought that was just a place to go, and I guess so. I guess you can stream on Twitter. It's been doing it for the last while, last couple weeks. It's possible to create folders within folders? No, it's not. No, I wish it was. That would be nice. But no. All right. Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm just kind of focusing on this little brow area here. Twitter streams became a thing sometime before and after the changes to yeah, well, I know Mr. Beast was trying to push Elon Musk to support video on Twitter. And I think that happened because of Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast is trying to post some stuff just to kind of see how it performs. I don't think he's live streaming there, but he's posting his videos there. Some of his older ones. Okay, for this, I want higher resolution. So I'm going to crank it up like this. And I want to inflate. I think I need to just turn Sculptris Pro off of inflate. I always end up turning it off because I don't like how it, I don't want to add geometry while I'm inflating it, you know? And just so you know, I'm adding more geometry in this area just so I can put some more detail. And shape these eyes a little better. So this goes all the way here and connects with this. Nice and clean. I did manage to get my ZBrush materials loaded. So you can check. I love these ZBrush materials if the window would stay open. There's ZBrush Gray, ZBrush Modeling, and they show you your surface a little bit better, kind of like Red Wax does, but I'm not a huge fan of Red Wax. What's up, Dan? Professor, where's the topological button, please? This right here, you can find it under Brush, Auto Masking, Topological. So if you go up to your menu, I don't know if you can see it, and let me turn off the bar for a second so you can see what I'm looking at here. So if you click on Brush, and then you go down to Auto Masking, it's, come on, scroll, baby. It's right there. And that, I love that button because it makes every single brush a topological brush if you turn it on. And all that means is whatever mesh you affect, whatever mesh you touch first will be the affected one. It's really nice. Visual, I didn't, could you ask it again, please? Oh, yes, okay. I did see it. Let's see. I don't want to derail your flow with this guy, but I was wondering if you have issues using curve brushes and have them not stick to surfaces of existing subtools. Yes, I'll show you how to fix it. I've messed with the settings, snap, depth. It just draws all over. Is there some setting? See all this. Okay. So, yeah, so with a curve brush, so if I go grab, I'm going to, let's see. There's a Dylan hair tube. I thought I just grabbed Renault's, oh, this one right here. Yeah, Renault I grabbed his hairbrush. It's really nice. So if I have this, can you guys see that okay? All right. I just have this hair curve brush like this. And the way you get it to stick to the surface is you go up to this picker. And underneath the picker, there's this depth right here. And there's these buttons. And most likely you have it set to once Z instead of continuous Z. This just means it continually checks the Z depth of the mesh and lays it on the surface. So if I switch over to this and I draw, the very first point will stick, but everything else will go through the mesh like that. That's probably what you're experiencing. So that's how you do it. Hopefully that helps. And the more dense the mesh underneath that you're drawing it on top of, the more it will, the better it will be as far as sticking to the surface. If you have a really low polygonal object that you're trying to draw the curve on, it tends to kind of fall through as well. So make sure, like for this one, see how dense this is? This is very, very dense, so it works really well. Give him a surfer bro. Yeah, kind of like Leo or something, right? Okay, you're absolutely welcome. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I'm taking too long on this guy. How? Yeah, we're almost an hour in. Okay. Neil, that might be one we could clip out. Talking about the curve. No, if I was streaming this on my own, I think there's on Twitch, or you can like select. You can select a clip, and I think it runs it back for a certain amount of time and then clips it. I think that's a thing. So Neil's my assistant helper guy, and we're working on trying to make some clips for my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is 3D Character Workshop, by the way, if you want to go over there and subscribe if you want. I'm trying to put some more tips and tricks and longer form videos up there. Is that the same for using cloth dynamics from falling through? I know mesh density. Yeah, it makes a difference, because the more points there are, it will be slower. Like computationally, it will be slower, but it will be more effective because there's more points to calculate, essentially. Oops. Why does it keep making these holes? Stop it. Okay. It's really weird. Thanks, Neil. Do I do this with a mouse? Absolutely not. No. Because a mouse is either on or it's off. There's no in between. I'm using a pen and a Cintiq. I have a 27-inch Cintiq that I'm using. You don't need a Cintiq, a display tablet. All you need is a tablet that has pressure sensitivity. That's it. Whatever you can afford. Just don't sculpt with a mouse. And the reason why is because if you're trying to sculpt a line like this, and you want to go from light to heavy to light again, there's no way you can do that with a mouse. It's just absolutely impossible. So this kind of pinched edge along here, you can't do that with a mouse. This guy. want to hide it instead of mask it, but oh well. Let's see. This is topological. This just means whatever I touch first, it's going to affect. So it's not affecting the upper lip. I'm just flattening this lower lip. I'm starting with 1 by Wacom. Yeah. Oh. Okay. So I want to get this kind of this little thing on the back of his head here. And I think I'm just going to, so I don't have to worry about merging things and doing anything else, I'm just going to just pull it out with my move brush. Go the lazy way. I need to look and see how these things actually work. Is it like a horn? Does it have a cavity back here? You have good 3D models. I wanted to ask, do you know how to export everything at once from the texture window? When I save them with 1 button grab shaded dock. I don't understand your question. Do I know how to export everything at once? Are you looking for like a rendered image? Or are you looking to export the model with textures? Because that's two, yeah, it's 2 different things. But if you want to just like export the image itself with color and everything, just go to Documents, Export right here. And you can, it'll export it out as a JPEG like this. That's how you can export your scene or your rendered image. It's not really rendered. You can render it first, like push this BPR button and render it. And thanks for the kind words, by the way. Appreciate it. Wacom Intuos is not expensive and work very well. Yeah, they have different levels of, you don't need a pro tablet to create good art. Just get what you can afford, even if it's a bamboo. Like that's, I think if that's still their cheapest version, it's just fine. You just need something with pressure sensitivity. That's it. And like a Cintiq will only speed up your process. It will not make you a better artist. So don't feel like you're missing out because you don't have one. I for the first 15 years of my career, I just used an Intuos Pro. And it was just fine. Some people prefer tablets to monitor, screen tablets. Cintiq is more intuitive and easier to learn, but ironically more expensive. Well, so I feel like the biggest difference is with a tablet, there's a bit of a disconnect because you're looking up at your monitor and your hand's down here. And with a Cintiq, there's a 1-to-1. So when you do a stroke, you can actually do it right the first time. And sometimes with the tablet, you have to do it a few times, like 3 or 4 times to get that to work. The Cintiq would be more beginner friendly. Yes and no. It's not, the price is not beginner friendly. And if you're just dabbling in 3D, I would hate for you to go spend all this money on a Cintiq, you know? That's what I'm getting at. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on one. I save the texture image every time as a JPEG, but I want them to be saved all at once in one package and not have to press the export button every time. So if you're trying to get textures out for a game, you need to put UVs on your model, and then you need to create textures from Polypaint for those UVs, and then you use the multi-map exporter right here. And then this multi-map exporter will export everything. Your normal maps, your whatever you want to choose right here. So texture from Polypaint, your ambient occlusion, cavity, but you have to have UVs. So that's how you export textures out of ZBrush. Can someone tell me if he began in Dynamesh? I don't use Dynamesh. I began with just primitive objects, these primitive objects right here. And then I merge them together using Remesh by Union, and then I use Sculptris Pro, like this. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give him some eyelids. Ski, I just explained it. Hopefully you caught that. This stream is being recorded, so you can watch it back and see exactly how I do it. I think you could even, I don't know if you can rewind time when you just join. I don't know if that's a thing. Okay. Clip curve. Let's go like this. What's my poly count? Honestly, this sounds like a totally jerkish answer, but my poly count is I don't care. And the reason why is because this is a sculpting mesh, it's not meant for a game or anything like that. All I care about is what the density looks like. So I'm just, if I look at the density, it looks like this. It's not meant for exporting. When I do want to export this, I will either Z-remesh it if I'm going to do 3D printing, or I'll retopologize it if I'm going to do it for a game. Vitaly, you're welcome. Hopefully that answers your question. I would go on YouTube and look for multi-map exporter tutorials. That might help you out. Oh, so that's what I was wondering. You can start from the beginning if I'm still live, right? So you can just roll it back, ski, and see what I did. Okay. You also cover retopology in your course? Yes, I do. Twice, actually. So I'll just give you behind the scenes really quick and show you exactly what's in there if you're interested. Do you miss the video game scene? I'm doing contract work right now, and it's kind of for a video game. It's pre-rendered stuff, pre-rendered videos that's going in a game. Sometimes I miss it, yeah, but I don't really miss the tech of it. The tech can get overwhelming sometimes. Okay, so I've logged into my course really quick. I'm just going to show you. So once you purchase it, you'll see this. This is the main workshop. This is the old workshop. This is a I did a live stream of this character. It's a full character, like 66 hours, showing you updated processes, including retopology. So if I go into here, there's retopology right here, and you can see all the retopology of this character right there. And then I show you how to bake maps in Substance Painter. Let me see, go back to the library. And then this one is for 3D printing. It's still a work in progress. And then I used to do some live Q&A replay or live Q&As, and these are the replays. I've since moved that out of the workshop, and I have it as a separate thing. And then I'll occasionally do industry pro interviews. And if you're brand spanking new, I have this early beginner walkthrough. So yeah, sirloin of beef. Yeah, that's me when I was skinnier. Yeah, I need to get back to that being skinny. I had recorded it right as I had lost a bunch of weight. That's I should update it with new info. Thanks, Raphael. Yeah, I was kind of at a, I would say, an unhealthy weight at that point. I was just trying to deal with some health issues at that time. All right. I don't know what is going on with this. It's not acting the way I want it to act. Okay. I kind of want to swoop it like that. Whoop. And let's pinch this edge. Okay, that's better. Kind of a swoopy uppy. Curve that out. I've been doing a lot of caricatures. Steve, did you see those caricatures I showed on the stream last Monday? Can't remember if you were here, if I showed them to you. Let's get these legs blocked in there. He's been legless for too long. Legoless. I'm horrible. All right. It's feeling right. Okay. Let me start up Character Creator. I got permission to show Character Creator even though it's not a Maxon product because they have a deal with Maxon, so I can show a little bit of it. Okay. So to block out these legs, let's use the appendage brush. Again, I give these brushes away for free. This is part of my primitive object brush. Hey, what's up, George? How are you doing? Saw your Taylor Swift, but I don't think I saw any other ones. Quick question. Is there any way to sculpt on the lowest subdivision level while displaying the highest? Unfortunately, no. Like the high sub D is visible. Yeah, I know what you're after. The only way you can really do that is by using dynamic subdivisions. So dynamic subdivisions works like a modifier, right? That you're used to, George. So, oh, thanks. Getting there. So essentially, let me append a star, and then we'll swap this star out for a cube. So if you have your gizmo showing and you click on a insert multi-mesh object, it's going to swap out whatever you have selected with whatever you click, like a cube, for example. I made it really small. Why did it make it so small? But here we go. Let's build this up. Let's solo it just so we're looking at the cube and not anything else. So I'm going to turn off creases. And then if I hit D, not Control D, just D, okay? It's going to do this. And this is dynamic subdivisions. So if you have my user interface, George, it's up here, dynamic. But you can see this is basically like the modifier you're used to, and it's showing you how many subdivisions there are. And you can crank this up to like a 4, and it'll make it smoother. That way you can look at your high definition mesh, and then these points represent your low resolution mesh. This is where the original box was. Okay, so looks like Sputnik. And what you can do if you want, you can go and just add one level of real subdivision level, you know, so like Control D to add 1, and see how the dots got smaller. That's because if I turn off dynamic, it's actually, we're working on this now. But what I want to do is go down to geometry and delete lower. And so now it becomes, there's no subdivision levels. And if I turn dynamic back on, now we're working on this smooth shade version, and the points represent the original right there. Does that make sense? So there's subdivided and there's not. And dynamic is just, it acts like a modifier. It just floats above your geometry and shows you what it will look like after it's been subdivided. But you can't sculpt on this level, right? Like you can with real subdivision levels, you can't sculpt on it. You can only adjust underneath. And George, I know your workflow, you can't put 2 dynamics on there. So you can only do one or the other. Okay? So hopefully that helps. All right, let's go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to save it. It's Chameleon 2. Hey Amir, welcome. Okay. So back to appendage brush. Select the body, and we're just going to drag this out for his little upper legs here. And let's turn on local symmetry. And then we can shape this a little better. So smooth it down. Okay, and it's kind of going back, not forward. Does that help, George? Yeah, George makes some amazing anatomy blockouts. You can go check him out. He's also been a student of mine for quite some time. Okay, I'm going to split this off into its own subtool. And let's go ahead and just duplicate this. Got to consider creating an inverted appendage that goes thin. I thought about that. No, I thought about that. I probably should. There's a couple other like some other shapes that I was thinking about. I follow you on ArtStation, Olivia Blockouts. Yeah, they're so good. If you ever want to study anatomy, those are especially stylized anatomy. I do cover anatomy in my course as well, but those are some really good subjects. So basically, Stephen, what I do is sometimes I will take the gizmo and put it down on the other end and just flip it around like this and then put it back. And that kind of gives that, you know, reverses the taper, but there's not some special hidden hotkey. Okay. Just shrinking this on down even more. It kind of connects in an interesting way. Kind of has this long curve on the front and a lower long curve on the back, and kind of swoops in like this. There we go. Okay, so there we got some leggies. Yeah, George, you have a YouTube channel too, huh? I didn't know that. Nice. Remember back to the olden days of ye old transpose line. Yep. Yeah, sometimes I miss using that, you know? How'd you go about polypainting transparent material on one part of a subtool? Like if you're making sunglasses. Well, Aurora, unfortunately, ZBrush really doesn't do well with transparent materials. It does, but it works well if you use a more recent version of ZBrush, and then you push it over to a rendering engine and show the transparency over there. But ZBrush really doesn't display transparency. It will use the color black as 100% alpha, so you can kind of get away with it that way. That's what's happening with my image over here. I surrounded it with 100% black color, and so it clips out. And you can do, yeah, it just doesn't really work with transparency that well. I will usually do transparency after I've exported it out of ZBrush, and I'll apply it somewhere else. It helps. Has to rely on. Yeah. I have to say one thing, I'm building some really good habits. Oh, nice. That's good. That's good. And I can say the opposite for me with using other software, using the B. Okay. Looks like Character Creator opened up. Here, I'll pull it off the screen just for a second. I can load up some characters and then show it to you. Oh, goodness. Okay. This one's pretty fun. Okay. So I created this guy in ZBrush. I'm sure you can tell me who it is. So I just made this guy the other last week. I was working on it, and it's so funny because this is Character Creator, and if you use their base mesh, he's like automatically rigged. You can animate him. It's crazy. You can put some wild motions on him too. Let's see, physics. Here we go. There you go. Hilarious, right? Yeah, I sculpted all this hair in ZBrush, and his face, his eyebrows, these eyes, all this stuff. It's fun. Okay, let me pull this off again. It's too fun. Too fun. Let's see if you guys can guess who this next one is. Yeah, I know. I'm working on that. He's only going to be seen from in a bust from the chest up. So I haven't worked on his head just yet. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. You guys know who this is? This one was a lot of fun. I need to put him in a t-shirt because this is kind of crumpled weirdness. I tried to put him in a hoodie, but yeah, it just kind of didn't turn out that great. So yeah, and then you can put different motion on him. It's got full face animation. Hopefully I got the textures on him. Yeah. It's so fun. But yeah, I sculpted this over in ZBrush, brought it back over here. Yeah, his textures are missing. I got to get some textures on his teeth and tongue. Sometimes they get lost. You guys know who that is? Any guesses? And then I'll show you one more. This one I'm still working on the textures. He's a little too realistic and uncanny valley weirdness. Yeah. Mr. Beast, Jimmy. Look, he's down here. You guys tell who this is. See, it's the skin I just took a little too realistic, so I gotta back it off. But I was able to put his tattoos and stuff on here. It was pretty fun. But anyway, yeah, this has been a lot of fun making these caricatures. Yeah, I have some other ones over here you can see, but okay. Yeah. Too funny. All right. Anyway, character creator. That's what I've been working on. So much fun. Yeah. Okay. So let's get. And those aren't lit. Those aren't rendered or anything. They're just. That's how I see them when I'm working on them. I got to give a huge shout out to Court Jones for doing the concepts for those. He's been fantastic. He does a super great job. Okay. What lazy things did you have to unlearn from the Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. I think you're making progress. I don't know. I have thoughts about that, George, and I think you're okay just sculpting it wherever you want to, you know? I think because I was talking about this last stream. I feel like art skills live with you forever and technical skills come and go. So you'll always be learning your art skills and honing them and making them better your entire life. But tech skills, like I don't know how many different programs I've learned throughout the years. And then until the next big shiny program comes along and then I learn that one, but my sculpting skills stay, they remain. It doesn't matter if you're sculpting digitally or out of real clay or out of mashed potatoes, the skills transfer. Okay, I'm gonna go Sculptris Pro in this foot. See, I love how with Sculptris Pro you can just flood fill it with this dynamic topology and then like switch over to something like the snake hook brush and just start pulling on it. Something like that. I was wondering if you were still listening, Leonard. How you doing, man? I know what that reference is from. I haven't watched that movie in forever. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Bought that movie online for $5. Nice. That's a good deal. Saw the mothership in my friend's garage last week. Are you kidding? Like the real one? Did you play the music to kind of call it in? Did you have to call it in? I'm not so lazy. I was depending on the modifiers a lot. I was always afraid to destroy them. Yeah, I get it. And that's kind of it's a great non-destructive workflow, right? That's what you aim for in any program too. So you can always go back and make changes, especially if you have an art director that's like, hey, this isn't working. Make changes. Oh, he's restoring it. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Just gonna kind of make a squished palm back here. Okay, and then yeah, definitely a piece of cinematic history. Oh, it looks like it's got a thumb too. So let me pull the thumb out on this side. And it's a chameleon, so it's kind of a more space between the finger and the thumb than normal typically. Okay, let's do some H polish. Your tip in the beginning of this stream with bend arc helped me a ton. I've struggled with wrapping tubes cloth. This was a game changer. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Glad to help. When you're sculpting, are you merging it from Dynamesh and then after? No, it's funny how much Dynamesh has been brought up in this stream. I don't use Dynamesh anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. I typically will use Sculptris Pro now. And the reason why is because Dynamesh will rebuild your entire mesh, which is fine for some purposes, but I like Sculptris Pro because it's very kind of compartmentalized. And I can adjust the density wherever I want. So for example, like this, if I want more density, instead of Dynameshing it, if I were to Dynamesh this right now, it would stitch all of these parts together and it would also kind of soften everything if I want to keep the same resolution. So instead, I want to increase the resolution around, like, say, these kind of pinched areas that I'm creating. So what I can do is turn on Sculptris Pro and just take it a little more dense. Let's go like this. There we go. So smaller triangles closer together. We take it even smaller. And then just kind of blast it around like this, make it more dense. Then I have more geometry. I can come in and pinch, make some hard edges. This pixel art stream helps me a lot. I'm always trying to learn something new from these streams. I am trying to learn ZBrush to make miniatures fun. Yeah, I've made a couple miniatures myself. Most of my stuff is big like this. It's like 1/16 scale. But I've made a lot of miniatures too. Not a lot, I guess. A few. I'm kind of a D&D nerd. I like my minis. So there's our little gloved hand. So if you are ever ready to stitch things together, like say I am now, I want to kind of blend these two objects, well, three objects together. What you got to do is use remesh by union, which remesh by union is kind of like doing a Boolean operation without doing a Boolean operation, without subtracting anything. And you can just find that inside of the gizmo gear. So what I like to do is center my gizmo like so, then reset it like this, so it's all reset with the world, and then how you get it to be centered is you have to turn off some symmetry. So you hit X, and then you hit this little go to unmasked mesh center, and it will center it. You have to turn symmetry back on, click on this gear, and then click on remesh by union right here, and that will stitch everything together. So we look and examine the edges, you'll see that it's re-triangulated and stitched these objects together. And it also, like Dynamesh, it will get rid of the interior geometry. So it's perfect for Dynamesh. Or, sorry, it's perfect for, I just read the word Dynamesh. It's perfect for 3D printing because it will get rid of everything inside and keep it watertight. When you want to merge subtools, how do you do that? There you go. I just showed you. Okay, and then you click on this gear and click accept, and there you go. Now back in business, just make sure you turn symmetry back on because it will turn it off. And now you can just continue on doing what you were doing, but look at how clean the connection is. So this is stitched together, but it doesn't look like it. So if you want to keep your hard-edged creases between your objects, you can. Yeah, read your mind. I think I'm the weird artist designer, never got into role-playing games. What's wrong with you? Played sports. You're no nerd, Leonard. We can't hang out anymore. Just kidding. Okay, so see, when I use Sculptris Pro, it basically rebuilds the surface. And so I can keep the crease underneath here and just smooth this upper part out. It's really nice. And then I can come in here, see how the knee is kind of poking out now. I can just use my inflate, just kind of inflate this knee out. Like this. And then if you want to re-pinch, you can. Like that. Just bring it up further. And there you go. That's how you do it. So in this instance, I don't want any of these creases. I want it nice and smooth. So I'll start with the back. Turn Sculptris Pro back on. I'm a mess. You're opposite land. Glad I cut the stream. Yeah, man. Welcome. Glad you're here. Popeye elbow.
Like.
Totally.
Liam.
I miss Popeye. Or cartoons like it. You can crank the Z intensity on your smooth brush up to get even more of a transition smoothing back here. Thanks. I thought it was horrible. All right. So now we can come back in. Anytime you can come back in and just kind of pinch, make it nice and clean. Yeah, the Robin Williams version. Sometimes that will kind of stretch some of these triangles in here. You can just come and smooth them back out. Are those inflate brushes something special to buy or not? You can't buy them. I give them away. You can go find them on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I give them away for free over there. So all of these unique looking images down here, these are all my brushes. And then I also have this insert multi-mesh brush, these two paint brushes as well, a hard and a soft paintbrush. So those are all, and they all started as some other brushes that I like to use, and I just dialed them into how I like to use them and gave them a better icon because I'm an old man and I can't see. Can you drop a link? Yes. Neil will, if you could please drop a link. Bam, there you go. And that's over on Twitch. We can't drop links on YouTube very easily. Neil, I asked Kyle about that again. And I don't know what's going on with that. I'll ask again. I don't know if he says yes, and then I think he says yes, and then it never happens. I think he just forgets. Or I don't know if there's red tape involved. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Happy. He's so happy that he's got legs now, arms and hands. But I want to kind of tune this upper. It's a little thick, and let's turn it. I tend to go faster than I normally do during these live streams just for sake of hopefully being more entertaining. You have to be a mod on YouTube. Right. So, Mark, that's what we're trying to get Neil to be through, but I have to go through the powers that be to make that happen, you know? So when I stream on my own channel, that won't be a problem. Do you use ZBrush functionality to have the concept art display? I'm not quite understanding that question, Yair. Can you maybe elaborate on it a little bit? You've seen Ian drop a link on YouTube? Oh, talking about the spotlight. Let's see. Let me read that question again. Do you use ZBrush functionality? Oh, yes. Okay. So I use Spotlight. Yep. This is Spotlight. So basically what you can do to bring the image in here is just go to texture and then import the texture right here and then select it right there and then click on this button that says add to Spotlight, and that will put it out here. And then if you hit Z or Z on your keyboard, you can then click inside this ring to move it around. And then you can click on this button right here to change the opacity. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, there you go. The opacity of it right there. You can scale it up and down like this. Yeah. Then hit Z and it'll disappear. And then, yeah, the biggest thing you need to know is that you need to turn off spotlight projection. So if you have my user interface, which I give away for free on my website, it's right here, spotlight projection. But if you don't, then you can find it under the brush menu, under samples and spotlight projection. Make sure you turn that off or your brushes will not work. Okay, is ZBrush 2024 worth upgrade? I can't really comment on that right now. I would say yes, because of it's got some nice, they added some knife clipping knife clipping functionality where you can actually slice and keep the piece that you slice. It's got a lot of cool stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this leg and scale it up. And then just kind of turn it. Like this, maybe. And then I think I'm going to put it in its own subtool for a minute. So this menu, it's just a collection of items that I collected from the Z tool menu that I use the most, and I organized them the exact same way the tool menu is organized, and I kept the headers of every section in here so you can easily find out where they are in the real tool menu, and then just kind of packaged it so it's just smaller and more accessible. And then I set it to a hotkey, the number 2 on your keyboard. And then I set that hotkey to the back button on my pen. So then wherever I'm at on the screen, I can just pop that menu up underneath my pen really quickly and just access those features. And it makes my workflow go really, really quick. And that's also part of that. When you download, it just says download brushes, but it also comes with my user interface and my ruler file as well. Yeah, I actually have a YouTube video on how to make your own user interface and custom menus. I can put that link up there, Neil, since I'm technically admin, I guess. Hold on a second. If it'll load. My internet's kind of being slow. Okay, let's see how to make a custom menu. Okay, here you go. You can find the other one on my channel from there. Spotlight also has opacity settings so you can sculpt with the concept. Yeah, you can overlay it and check your proportions. Yep. I've made mine so I can easily swap between languages. Oh, hard as an alien to keep up with all the English. Yeah, that's nice though. You're able to do that. Okay. Let's fill this. Where did it go? Come back. Okay. So now I'm going to grab this color and fill the eye with it, and this one. Spotlight's a powerful tool all to itself. You can use it to apply textures directly to the mesh. Yeah, you can use it like a stamping tool. That's really nice. Okay, I'll pose his other side later on and just keep him in a T-pose for now. Oh, you've used make clothes? Nice. I've used it to do like tattoos. I did trying to remember the name of the dude from Slayer. He had a bald head and he had tattoos wrapped around the back of his head, and I used it for that. Okay, let's see here. I think I might Z-remesh this now and subdivide it down. You switch between poly modeling, use some Z-mod and sculpting. Not typically. The only time I really use the Z-modeler is when I'm doing props or hard surface things, like pistols and swords and things like that, or sometimes armor. Yeah, basically man-made objects I will use Z-modeler for. It just depends. Like if I'm making glasses or something like that. Okay, I think I'm going to Z-remesh this. Let's save it first. Okay. So right now we have Sculptris Pro geometry that looks like this. And we'll see what happens when we Z-remesh it. Let's duplicate it. I'm going to try, oops, I don't want a folder. I'm going to try not keeping the groups. Sounds like Spotlight will be the next big thing I'll have to take a look into. I really got to remember that thing with turning off the projection under the brushes. Yeah, that's why I have it in my custom menu right here. So I remember also another way, and I also have a video on this, is there's a plugin called the Z Startup Utility right here. And it's an official plugin. You can get it over on the Maxon ZBrush website under the download section. And basically, you'll see down here it says Spotlight Project Off. You can have that turned off by default. So whenever ZBrush starts up, it will turn it off just so you don't have to worry about it. And it's just there. And then I also have specific Sculptris Pro settings. You can have that turned on to remember those settings. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. You want to use that. And I also have a video showing on how to install that and set it up. Thanks, Neil. There you go. Okay, Z-remesher. Here we go. Z-remesh. Let's turn it to, let's say 7. Do you see? There we go. Nice. And sometimes Z-remesher is just lovely. Other times it struggles. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to subdivide it for real a couple times. Let's see. Let's go one more. 4 million. Okay. And fill this object. Let's see how dense we are. So if you want to, also with Spotlight, if you want to select a color from your concept art, you need to push Z to show the ring. And then you hit C to, you can hold down C and see how the color is changing as I'm hovering over these colors here. And then when you find a color you want, you just let go. And then hit Z again to hide the ring. And then you can paint with it. Let's see, I think I picked the same color that it already is. So I'm going to fill it. This is darker. There we go. Yeah. Oh, is it showing both? No. What did I do? Sometimes when you hit Control Z, it'll bring back your other Z tool. So I think there's a duplicate in here. I'm going to do auto groups and hide. Weird. It's giving me some weirdness. Let's It's acting like they're, okay, that's better. All right, I don't know what happened there for a second. All right, let's do this for real. It's a shame if you want to bend arc, then you need to pay for a subscription. Yeah, well, can't really comment on that. I would say that you should get a subscription anyway. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna bring back my poly group, but in a different way. Go to the lowest resolution here, and then you can see there's a loop that runs right up in the mouth right there. So I can click on this, select lasso, and then Control Shift, and click on an edge, and it's going to kind of hide. Well, let's go down. Shame it doesn't go all the way. It goes down and wraps all the way up at, Let me see if there's one that turns this one. There we go. Okay, that's good. Oops. Is it not mirrored? Yes, it's mirrored. Okay. There we go. So then you can do auto groups, and it will put all the islands in their own groups like this. And then I can hide these and then put all of those in a group. At 1-3D Artist, hello. I'm doing well, thanks. Okay. I'm going to sub this back up. And now I can hide the mouth, bottom, like this. Oh, it looks like it didn't grab the top lip, dang it. Oh well. I'm just going to paint it, not care. Because you only see, it's got a little, that's got a little lip. I'll have to make that its own poly group and make it a dark lip. How did you do that? Please show the grouping process. Okay, I'll show it on the upper lip again. Okay. So now I have two groups. And I want to make, see this upper lip on the inside of the mouth? I'm going to go down to the lowest subdivision level. And you have to go to select lasso or this doesn't work. I want to find, let's do like, let's try this one. Basically, I'm hiding a ring of polys, but it doesn't look like that went all the way across. Let's try this one. Maybe higher. That's weird. It looks like it's flipping. It's flipping right here. So let me smooth this out. See how it's like reversed, like the bottom is going to the top and then back again. Okay, so let's go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I hid, oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I hit a couple rings like this. And then I'm going to go auto groups. And auto groups is the one that puts any island into its own poly group. And then now if I unhide everything, you'll see that, I'm going to hide this one. You'll see that these edge loops are in its own poly group and the green ones are in its own poly group. So I'm going to hide these, everything that's not the upper portion of the mouth. Hit Control W and put it in its own poly group like this. Now I have three. I have the lower jaw, the rest of the body, and now the upper lip, right like that. And now I can go subdivide it way up. And then I can just mask off this bit. So if I show my gizmo, hold down Control and tap on this poly group, it's just going to mask off everything but that. And then I'm actually going to grab this color right here, this masked off color, maybe this darker one, and just say fill object, and that fills it. And then I'll clear my mask, and now he's got a darker upper lip. Program is really big. Yep. Like Photoshop, there's a lot of functionality hidden behind shortcuts. Yeah, for sure. Careful showing your gizmo. Gonna get banned. Just kind of straightening out the lip there. Make it more even. Okay. Let's continue on painting the belly. Let's see. Let me get a better angle on it. Like that. And it looks like this lighter color just kind of ends here. And then I can just kind of clean it up with a smaller brush. Something like that. Let's paint his eye really quick. We're almost out of time here. So with this, I'm going to add the subdivisions, make them real, and then subdivide it up a couple more times to just so I have the density that I need. And then it looks like, let's see here. Let's zoom this on up so I can grab the eye color. Like that. And then be like that. Pascal's. Yep. What's the latest thing you've learned in ZBrush that was new to you? The multi-material exporter, I would say. Because I've been using a character creator quite a bit. And I didn't really need to use the multi-map exporter. So I just, look, he's wall-eyed and I love it. Is ZBrush required to get into the 3D industry? I would say no. Or do companies give you the program they work with? It depends on where you want to work. If you want to work for a company that uses ZBrush, then yes. If you want to work for a company that doesn't use ZBrush, then no. So not every company uses ZBrush for their workflow, but a lot of them do. And so I think it is way beneficial to have ZBrush in your arsenal of tools that you know how to use, and that will make you more employable. It is, but it is absolutely the industry standard for digital sculpting. Yeah, freelance. Freelance means you'd be using your own computer and software. Yep, that's true. And you just kind of work that into the budget. Which is nice because then you own it. But then you can do other work with it. Like those caricatures I was just showing. I had to cover the cost of character creator. Okay. silly. I'm sure Alexander will color this at some point, and at which time I will come back in and recolor it. He does some really interesting, fun, overly saturated colors. And so hopefully he'll color it. Then I can, or else I'll just make up some colors. This was just a little too weirdly shaped. The unnamed software acknowledged on the live stream they are not competitive with Z for sculpting. Yeah. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to end it, guys. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And as always, I give away my brushes for free over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. And I have a course over there as well if you want to learn how to create characters like this, or for video games, or for toys, or 3D printing, that kind of stuff. For a portfolio, do you need to color your sculpts? You don't need to, but it's recommended. Yep. So if you want to learn, go check it out. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I will catch you all next Monday. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Have a good holiday if you're in the US. We'll see ya.